And we're live. Welcome back, guys. I'm Ed Foychuk, and I've got a special guest with me today. Who's in the house?
It's me, Ric Bülow.
What's up, Rick?
Hello.
Hey. It's been a while since we chatted, man.
Yeah, just you and me. Been a minute.
Right. Ever since almost kind of the podcast that we were doing before, right?
Yeah, that's like I was about to say 6 months ago, but it can't be that long, can it?
Maybe, I don't know. With this pandemic, everything seems like before and after, right? Like anything before was a long time ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I notice you don't have your face up on the screen. What's up with that?
Well,
You've got something else.
Yeah, I got in honor of you. I got a Canadian goose. Like last time with you and Clayton, I got a quokka in honor of him. You know.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
And I'm really not into sharing my face, so that's why you get this.
We have to pay extra for that.
Yeah, and you will,
face.
and you don't want to, so that's your fault.
So hey, before we get into the critiques and everything today, I want to talk a little bit about the Summer Slam that we've got going on.
I am
right?
excited.
I just posted it up, what was it, 2 days ago or something, and it's due in a month and a week, right? At the end of June. Did you have a chance to take a look at the script?
Oh yeah, I love the script. Same as last year, sweet and simple.
Right. You know, like when I'm doing up the scripts for these things, sweet and simple is exactly what I'm going for. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking like, I want to show setting. I want to show characters. I want to show emotion, and I want to show some action. And to get all of that in one simple page, yeah, and that's my goal when kind of roughing out a script like that. And listen, like that script is not going to win any awards. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to showcase and challenge some of the artists out there, right?
And as we saw in the last year, is when you put a simple script like that.
Yeah,
the many different ways of doing it we saw was absolutely incredible. So creative ways and really good. Yeah. So the simpler the better, and it makes it funnier for us to judge as well.
Totally agree. You know, like last summer, I'm gonna say we had about 40 entries or so. Do you know what I mean? And it was just like hit after hit after hit. Like there was so much goodness going on and stuff, and just even things like when I had written the script, I had, you know, a certain picture in mind, right? And then when they were popping stuff up, I was like, oh, that's even better than what I had in mind when I was writing it, right? Like it was really cool stuff.
Exactly. I was blown away with like everybody and they were so different, all of them. It was just wow. Okay, it wasn't as straightforward script as it actually looked like when you first take your first glance at it. Kind of like this. Kind of like this one. When you first take a quick glance at it, it's like, well, this can only be done in one or two ways. But when you think about it, it can be done in a million ways.
Yeah, and we didn't get 1 million, but we got 40, and not, you know, it wasn't as similar as I would have guessed it to be. I thought, this is going to look pretty some of these are going to look pretty generic, but you know, a slight camera tilt and everything just mix things up, right? So this one is going to be with the X-Men. And listen, the reason I pick familiar characters, and I was thinking of doing like a different setting, like maybe a Western, space, something like that. And I still might, you know, in the future. I just thought with familiar characters, there's two things that are going to happen. One, this is not a character design challenge, right? So that's not what I'm trying to do here. We've done those before, right? But I want to see if people can go on model. Do you know what I mean? Because I see a lot of things being posted up in the group where, you know, they make Wolverine 7 feet tall type of, you know, 9 heads tall. And it just like, I'm like, what are you doing here? This is not Wolverine. You know, like if you were hired to do this, you'd be in trouble, right? And so I'm hoping that when people take this script, they take it as if a company had just handed it to them and this is their tryout. Now, that's not what it is. You know, we're not pretending to be something we're not. We're just trying to put it out there to give a challenge to group members and give a little bit of incentive and stuff. So the incentive is some cash for the top prize, right? And also hyping up, you know, some of the top winners. We're going to put them on the main website as well. And then some video critiques from our panel of judges, right? We'll go through and we'll give a little bit of a critique and stuff. And we might actually have a few guest judges coming in. So that might be kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know that. So I can't spoil.
Yeah. Like I've got a few guys that I've talked to about guest judging and stuff. So hopefully it should be kind of cool. Yeah, and you know, even these live casts and stuff like that, we've got some interesting people coming up for you know.
That I know about, but we're not gonna spoil it for you because we're gonna leave you hanging.
Yeah, we get lynched.
I just have to mention a comment here that Jim Tesher just said, and about this challenge. It will also help people stay on point. And kind of show the more professional side of what to expect if they really want to go into creating comics. And he's right on point there. You have to learn that part as well, and that's what we give people a chance to learn.
Right, and the feedback, not just from us. Like, listen, like we'll have like 4 to 6 judges, kind of thing, right? But it's even from the group. As soon as you push yourself and start putting up those pages in the group.
Oh yeah,
the group's going to give you some feedback, and you know, just like any other feedback, you're going to have to filter through and stuff like that. But the fact that more people are going to be putting their eyes on your work and stuff and helping you grow through it, I don't know. I think it's a great opportunity, and so yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. Last summer was awesome. Some really awesome stuff was turned in and stuff, and we'll see what happens this year.
And again. Even though if you might think you're not good enough when it comes to experience, let me just say that it's just not how perfect your art are that we judge at all. It's your creativity as well, and it's your ability to follow script and make it look good. And you can make things look good, even though your anatomy isn't on point. You can still be with us. You can still do it, guys. At least for training. If you know you're not good enough to win it, well, join it anyways for the practice.
For the storytelling practice, yeah.
Exactly, and you'll get a chance to get a critique from one of us, or maybe more of us.
Right, and the thing is, you know, when it comes to, you know, I harp on anatomy, and we're going to be doing some overs today and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the number one criteria that we're going to be looking at in these pages. You know, we're looking at, did they convey the story? You know, and so if somebody posts up something that looks like, I don't know, Charlie Brown Peanuts in X-Men style, right? Like, and they're doing it that way, then so be it. As long as they stay consistent in their style and stuff like that, you know, it's just like, how are they doing at telling the story, right?
Exactly. So. Well, I just wanted to bring that out there, that nobody should be afraid of putting stuff up at all. I mean, you're in a group where you're supposed to do exactly that, put yourself out there, and not get hated or discriminated by it. Quite the opposite. You'll be praised for it and shown that you're brave, and from most of the people, you'll get props more than you'll get put down by showing your art, no matter your levels. I see a lot of people write, "Oh, I'm not good enough, so I'm afraid to put stuff up." Well, you see other people that's not good enough either. They don't care because they know they've been here so long that they know what they're gonna get. They're gonna get good vibes. They're gonna get good stuff. They're gonna get good positive critique.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, why don't we get into? So I'm just looking at the comment stream and stuff like that, and you know, I would like to get through a lot of pieces today and stuff that we can talk and share and stuff like that, right? So hopefully, let's see if I can do this right. Usually Clayton's the one managing the the nitty gritty of it all, right? Do you want to go first? You want me to go first? What do you want to do?
I'll go first.
Okay, well, there's your screen. You using Photoshop there? Cool.
Yep. I'm just
Okay.
simply using Photoshop. Can't even remember who this guy is.
Yeah, sorry.
I
guys.
forgot your name, sorry man, but I'm hoping you're either gonna see it later or.
Yep.
So the first thing I want to do with this one is check the composition, because to me the composition seems off. At least just a tad. I don't know if it's because of the black here that makes it seem off. Now I need to remember how I do this.
Yeah, it takes a little bit getting used to doing these drawovers and stuff, right?
Yeah. Like this? No. Okay, I'll just do these ways. So normally I would put a line from this side, and to up here, corner to corner.
Okay.
Try to find the middle, and where that middle is should be where the composition starts, right? And that'll be around here. Just quick eye around here. And when I see that it's really dragged a lot to this side. Like he should be around the middle, but he's really not. Most of the side here, like with this guy as well, is to the right.
Okay.
So in my opinion, composition wise, it's a little off. It's off center, is that the word? So I think I would do. Yeah, I'll agree with Corey that it looks like a good comic, like a good cover, good movie cover. But I think maybe just pushing it a little here, so it more in the middle, all of it would have helped. You see now, in my opinion, at least, if you look at it, it's more centered, just by moving it a little bit more. And then I would have. The size difference here between the two females is kind of annoying as well. Yeah, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Would have had to push her up as well.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch's face seems a little bit larger than Polaris.
Exactly. And this face,
even though they feel like they should be sitting on the same plane or something, or
yeah. And I also feel like this face here.
Well, I think what we'd have to do is say this is a montage. It's not like an actual lineup scene where people are getting ready for battle. Magneto is way back, but he's obviously way larger. But I don't think, if we look at how red he is and how far he punches forward, it doesn't, I mean, instead of him being that kind of icon in the background of looming over his children type of thing, he brought into the foreground by the colors, right?
It's very confusing about the overall composition, also foreground, background, and mid. The depth it's there, but then it's not really there, if that makes sense. It's
sure
a bit confusing. I would have personally tried to darken this area here with him, so it wasn't as obvious. I don't know if I can do that and it looks good, but please try and give an idea of it. Yeah, guys, sorry, this is my first real time here.
Yeah, doing things in real time. When we've done this before, I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. But they don't really realize that, like, damn, that's actually, there's a lot of things going on because you're talking, you're drawing over, you're doing all these things, plus the technical aspect. It takes a little bit, right? So there's a lot of stuff at play. So I'm giving Rick a little bit of slack here and stuff. It's taking a bit.
I would have done like maybe even removed him completely from this here. So there was more room for the two females, if you get my idea here. Have him hover more over, so it looks more like he hovers, as you said you wanted him to, and then darken him altogether.
I'm thinking more of like he is the ghosting image behind type of thing, right? Like it's not that standing nod or anything. It's more like he's the presence behind the three siblings that are in front, right? And then also the sizing, like you said, I don't get why Quicksilver, as we get closer to us, they get smaller, and as they go back, they get larger. Like I'm trying to understand the logic in that. Like the three in the front maybe make the same size or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Quicksilver could easily be done bigger. Don't know if I can do that as a quick fix, but here we go. Let's get an idea of it. Again, now I'm gonna block the females, but this is just to get the idea of Quicksilver himself. I mean, he could be bigger, really.
Sure.
To me, it looks better, and I mean, that's basically what I saw with this overall. It's just the composition and the depth that's really confusing in this one. And if you see, I just pushed them over a little bit here, and I think that did a major difference just pushing it a little to the left compared to where it was.
Like there's a lot of good things going on in this, the paints and stuff.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you can see who they're supposed to be portrait-wise and look-alike wise. It's really a good job. I wonder who he drew as Polaris, though. I can't remember if he even been in the movies. Has he?
Has Polaris been in the movies?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, but she's been in. There's a TV show that she's been in it, and I think that's what they're modeling her after, the actress from the TV show. Yeah, she was really good in the show. I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. Yeah, everybody in the comments is saying, make the green girl bigger. There's a lot of composition. I think the sizing is throwing the composition, but I also really think the saturation. Magneto pops. Quicksilver doesn't, and so I'd work on the colors, the saturation. There's so many good things going on in this that, like, the paint or paint over whatever the guy was doing here on the portraits and stuff is has some good stuff going, right? But the composition, the colors, there's a lot of problems, right?
Yeah.
And when I say problems, I'm not like, God damn, this garbage, but more like, geez, these little tweaks and could really help it, right?
Yeah. I can't even buy Lot. I think his name is Lotfi. That's what it says.
Okay, we're going on to the next one?
Yeah, let's pop over to you.
Okay. I'm just going to pop over a couple here. Talking about Hellboy, and listen, I'm not even going to do a draw over here, but I just wanted to double check on this. I don't know if it's my eyes, but either he has no real fingers or something's going on. So the reason I'm saying this is because and I am going to do a bit of a draw over just to show what I'm talking about here, is that this section here, sorry, what I'm doing red, this is supposed to be his knuckles.
Yeah.
When I just looked up on the character how he's been designed and stuff like that, and that's supposed to sit on the knuckles here. So he still has fingers. Now his fingers are kind of wide and flat generally by design and stuff like that. So they're a little abnormal, but he's missing, like, he's got the first part of a finger, but then there should be another part carrying on here or something. This should carry forward, and then the next part of the finger should be coming and stuff, right? Or even more. Hellboy's got these funny fingers, so they kind of they're a little flat and stretchy, or not stretchy, but like odd. But then, yeah, it just the way that he's got it here, it
They're
looks
a bit
like,
too stoppy. Is stoppy the right word?
oh, totally. There's no, look at this. This isn't opposable digit at all, right? It's flat. There's no joint to it. There's no bend. And so it's all these little, like, looks like little amputated nubs coming off of the knuckles or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, Emma Dumont is the one who plays Polaris
Yeah,
on the TV show.
I was about to say it. And Art
And she's
Jedi, Art Jedi from YouTube, in our group, How to Draw Comics on Facebook, we usually put up a page 24 hours before, where you can put up some of your art to get critiqued.
Yep. This next one is by Gerald, and
yeah, my good man,
really good guy. He's got, when you look at his drawings, they're from him because
yep.
There's lines, merging, mating,
yep,
some other M word with other lines. Do you know what I mean? There's lines upon lines upon lines, right? And so sometimes, I guess my challenge to him would be, where's the final piece from you? Do you know what I mean? I really enjoy it. Oh, go ahead.
I say the exact same thing because he comes to me in DMs a lot and puts up and ask for critiques, because I critiqued his SummerSlam last year, which he enjoyed so much. Apparently I was good at it, so he came back. And yeah, there's just too much lines. I mean, I like the gritty, sketchy look, sure, but when do we get to see something finished? Because I can't for the life of me really call this he does here for finished work. I just can't. It's
of course not. And I don't believe it's intended. I would like to say, Gerald, try to let's see some of your finished stuff once in a while. Like, let's bring something to being finished. But that's not why I brought it up here. Actually, why I brought it up is this hand. Actually, kind of both hands. But and listen, I'm kind of guessing there's some foreshortening going on, or maybe this is kind of maybe a fantasy character, because we've got enlarged feet here.
I think it's Avatar, the two airbenders.
I don't know. I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping, is that this foot being basically as long as the shin, I'm hoping that this is, a little bit of foreshortening coming down. So I'm guessing that's the strategy behind it, which is fine. He's warping some things. I like it. I like, the background is there's some pieces being warped here and stuff. And it's very busy. It's Avatar in the back, wind and earth bending and stuff like that, right? But this hand, look at okay, we've got the hand coming in this way, right? And I believe it's kind of coming towards us. So if I'm drawing a hand, imagine a disc or something like that, right? And I want to give it some form. Well, the knuckles are going to form along the top of this with the thumb forming out that way, right? But this knuckle is way down here. Do you know what I mean? It's I don't know. I think he's either got to, this hand looks a little stretched out, or he's got to show that this hand has the given depth going on coming this way. Do you know what I mean? That's the one thing that popped on me. I don't know if that makes sense as I'm drawing over. I'm kind of getting muddy with my lines here and stuff, but I want to show that the meat is hanging, that the circumference, everything's coming forward here. Here's the hand as it fades smaller. So I'm showing that, this is the top of the hand. And then the knuckles, the fingers come out from, the digits come out from that point or something like that. Something along those lines, right? So Gerald, that's my one thing. I like your stuff, man. That's not a complaint at all. It's just, I think that watch a little bit of constructions, even though you're getting a little wonky. Choose, is that really what your intention is? Do you want it to look kind of that epic style, elfish wonkiness that where you bend reality, or were you trying to ground yourself in reality, right? So this is just a little bit of feedback. Rick, you got another one up?
Yeah, I actually got a sequential page up here.
I was going to look at that one as well too, so we can both talk.
I mean, he when it comes to a basic sequential page, I mean, he pretty much nails it when it comes to basic. But what it what it lacks as soon as I see it is it lacks the dynamics that Western comics, also manga, is known for. I mean, the panels are a bit for this is supposed to be an actual action panel, right? A
Yeah,
page, and it's just too bland, in my opinion. The panels are too settled, too square, too it. He went the easy way to make a sequential page with panel layout, in my opinion. I'm not
absolutely.
saying I'm not saying that's a bad thing, and he's probably still learning by the looks of it.
Yep.
But some more action, some maybe he could have removed the top lines here and made so it more looked like that the character on top here was splashing a little a bit in over there, so it like came together in that way. Would also help with the view, the guided the so-called guided line that you should have in every comic. And right now it's, yeah, as I said, it's pretty straightforward, so you know where to look. Start here and then go down here, there. Basic.
Yeah, the
And
basic
that,
zigzag.
I mean, that's my biggest critique with the layout of it. Is too basic for what's in it. It's supposed to be an action sequence, and the panels just doesn't show action. When you do comics, everything has to look as intended. The panels needs to speak it as much as the lines, as much as the text, as much as the sound effects.
Yep.
Everything has to scream action if you're doing action, and the panels here just doesn't scream to me. It just, like, if they're having, this would have worked if they were having a calm and collected conversation, but not a fight scene.
Right. This is very reminiscent of the 9 panel layout of a page and stuff like that.
Mm.
And that's, when you have those panels, you got to think of almost like, I try to envision panels like music and stuff like that. We've got, what's the tempo we've got bang, right? Is the first panel, that big splash, that big wonk that he's got, right? Like, bang. Then it's bang, 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 bang. That's what he's got. That's the tempo. Bang, 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 bang. You know what I mean? And I think he could have twisted it around a little bit and made it much more dynamic. Bang, 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 bang. Like, you think of, like I said, I play it like music in my head when I think of the beats and what I'm trying to achieve. So a 9 panel shot would, in a page like this, would be bang, 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 bang. And that works nice for a conversation tempo. Bang, 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 bang. Do you know what I mean? But if we're having this fight scene, bang, 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 boom, boom. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I play it like music in my head. So I try to think, okay, how can this tempo, this representation of power be represented in panels?
Yeah.
Right. And I know that's kind of a weird, I don't know if anybody else thinks of it like that. I've heard of people talking about beats and stuff like that. Right. And so
I do actually as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I like to hear the music a little bit and then play it out in the beats. Right.
Yeah.
So you're right. The beats are a little drab in this and stuff like that.
I mean, as a small,
I would have.
sorry.
Go ahead.
As a quick example, I don't understand this one. This panel here doesn't need to be the same size as these two at all. So what I would have done, if you with me here, either I would actually have done like a panel more like this, and then maybe done the same here. So the panel closed over, like more in that way. That would have make this smaller, because it's not necessary to make this as big as the two faces. I mean,
well, then he's giving equal representation to it, and it's a choice, right? Like he's saying, well, this is just as important as I'm gonna sheath my claws because I don't need my claws to beat you like I'm always did. Okay, well, there's a typo there, right? Do you know what I mean? Like the pacing, the emphasis and stuff. Where is the emphasis in all this stuff, right? There's some issues there. Any other thoughts you have on it, Rick?
Well, I'm leaving the anatomy and all that to you.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of jump in. The one thing I would kind of do is maybe I would have mixed this and had this one coming this way. So I might have had, and I'm just going to kind of rough it out. I would have had.
You need to change screen. Like, you need to change screen.
Oh, Jesus! Sorry, guys. Oh. Thanks. Okay, so as I was saying, I would have maybe changed things up and have it come this way. I'm kind of roughing it out. Have Sabretooth here, and then Wolverine coming on top of him or something like that. It moves the panel this way, come down, and then we've got this stuff. You know what? I would totally redo all these panels, but I'm not going to right now. What I am going to say is watch out, because how you've got this head right now. Where's this head? No. Is this legitimately the shape that you were going for? Right? Because, there's nothing back here. And even if there was, goddamn, there's a lot of space on either side of this and stuff, maybe the chin is down here or something, but like there's some good things going on here, but I feel like this face was really stretched out widthwise, right? So he runs into that a fair bit. This one doesn't show it as bad. I think he kind of gets away with it here much better wise, right? But I think this face really shows that there's some problems in the construction, right? The other thing is these two panels. People have been talking that they're pretty repetitive. I agree. I used to do these exact type of panels because you're like, I want to show them getting hit and then hit and then hit. And you kind of get into this boom, boom, boom. And in your mind, it's like, that's exactly how it would look. Because if I'm on somebody, I'm hitting him. And, that's how it would look. But it's not a very dynamic shot when we're looking at it, right? So just really take some of the words that we've said about the panels, the beats, the anatomy, and take another look at where you want to put the emphasis in this story. You've got emphasis in this first panel, cool, but then where, are all of these equal weight? All of these 6 panels, are they equal weight in storytelling emphasis, right? Because that's what you're trying to tell us.
Do they deserve to be equal weight as well?
Right. Yeah. And so I think that,
but here's my question though, just to cut in. I got a little suspicion that he might have used a pre-made panel, pre-made page panels. The panels were always like a template or something, and not put up the panels himself. I get that feeling, especially with Wolverine's head. Like you said, it seems like it's stretched a little. Maybe he was trying to make sure it fell up. It was filling up the panel properly, more than necessary. So to me, it could look like he was using a template.
We don't know, right? But I tell you, if I gave this template to a professional artist, they would do it different. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and before we move on, I'll have to say, kudos for him going all the way and actually do a whole page like this. That's great, and that's a big step forward.
Hey, one more thing I want to say. With eyes, draw. Here's the eyeball. Here's what's this thing called again? I always forget the name of the inner portions there. It's called it's It's not a cuticle. That's on the fingernail. There's
Chat, help us. Chat, help us. What's it called?
no, they won't even know. It's this cornin, or I can't remember now. I forgot the name for it. But anyways, there's tissue in here and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the tear ducts, and there's tissue on either side and stuff. So give the form to the eyes. If anything, draw the eyeball, right, and then just see how it would all fit. That type of thing, right?
Yeah,
that's what I usually sketch the eyeballs, right, and then
the name is cornea, isn't it?
No, that's not a cornea. No, that's not it. There's this tissue that's inside the eye here actually has a very specific name to it. It's like Grund or Kieran. It doesn't matter. It's not that relevant to what we're doing here and stuff. But
and I mean, also, just to as you did with drawing the whole eye, if you do that, you basically set up most of the anatomy around the eye as well, because then all the lines will set up proper and everything would look better.
Yep. Rick, you got another one that you want to share?
I got one last one, yeah.
Okay.
And then it will be all you. I think this one.
Ah, yeah, I remember seeing that one.
I think you also had that one up.
I didn't pull it up, but
I mean,
I saw
this will also be a little anatomy, but my first point of thing is like perspective and where he's actually aiming compared where his body is aiming. You can see here, just as an example, his fist kind of goes this way a little more, and then the arrows go completely the other way compared to where it should be with his hand. From how I see it, at least. And then we continue to the bow. The bow isn't actually following the direction of the arrow either, if you look at it.
Yeah, that bow is looking kind of ribbony, like a ribbon that's...
It doesn't... A bow is made of wood. It should be sturdy, and it should be... Yeah, sturdy. Sturdy, and it looks too... Yeah, like you said, like a ribbon, like rubber, or something easy to mold.
Mm-hmm.
And the arrow points one way, the bow points another way, and the fist here in the back points also a different way. The hand here, also a different way. And his face, where he's looking, is kind of going with the arrow, which is the last thing it should be going with, though, because the arrow is the one thing that looks too far off. I think he's done a good try, sure, but he's lacking the point of view where he wants the character to go, and I think it's perspective lines that he's missing. Help guidelines to himself, like sketch lines. He didn't set it proper up when he was thumbnailing and sketching.
I don't know why. Like, if I was trying to do that shot, I would practice it myself. I would take reference photos of myself and stuff, or look up archers or whatever and stuff. And I think people are so scared to do that, and I have no clue why. Like, I don't know why people are so scared to take their own pictures or anything like that.
This is a good example of why reference is important. I mean, and just to push a little further, I mean, I'm sure you've seen this as well, Ed. What this is supposed to be an arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
As it holds.
Yeah, it's looking mighty short.
I just don't see the arm, and it's not even in perspective as it should be, because the hand should be.
Yeah, it's coming straight at us, right? Yeah. Like, that arm is like, let's see if I can. That arm is kind of like this, whereas the other one is like, I don't know. It's either not showing the foreshortening correctly, or the arrow looks like it would be turning off to the side more, but that one arm is coming almost straight at us, right? So, a reference photo would have made a world of difference on that.
I would also have done his leg a bit different, so his knee was here instead, like more bent towards instead of going all the way out as it does here, like more this way, again in perspective.
I think what he was trying to do was that leg was going off to one side, and then the other, like I think he's crouching down on his left leg. The knee is in the ground, and then that one's kind of on a bent tiptoe type of thing. Then
he cut the leg in a really bad position here. If we were supposed to look at it properly, he should have done more of the leg then, at the other leg, to give that.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on with the perspective there and stuff, right? Like the pose and the perspective.
I mean, it's a good effort. It's a good try. I mean, kudos for him for trying something as difficult as this. But I feel like it was a hit and a miss, and I'm sure he'll try again. And hopefully take our critiques to heart, and we mean it with the best of intentions.
Sure. We've all run into this. Like, I've had to draw archers before and stuff like that, and like I was like, okay, how does this work? I actually grabbed a broom, took off the end of it, used that as my arrow type of thing. Like I was, you set this up because like it's not like you're so familiar with archers in your daily life that you know exactly how everything's going to look, right? Like, I love archery, but like, no, get some references.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Anything else on this piece for you?
Not what stood out right here now. I mean, now it's really basic, simple. I mean, some more practice in anatomy, his face proportions as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just basic training. Keep practicing, and he'll get it for sure. From what I see, what stood out was the things I mentioned.
Cool. I think I just got a message from.
I agree, Corey. His rendering is really good.
Yeah, I like it. It's consistent. Yeah, Alexander had asked me to take a look at some of his stuff, and he's posted up like 3 weeks in a row, and I really haven't done it. So I'm just gonna pop over and show his stuff for a quick second here. The reason I haven't really looked at his stuff is because, listen, when I pull up something for feedback, I usually think, okay, what's the lesson to be learned here? And as I'm scrolling through the different pieces that are people post up, I'm like, okay, well, there's a good lesson. Okay, well, yeah, I see this a lot. Let's do this, right? When I look at Alexander's stuff, he's pretty consistent in what he does, right? Like, he's got this kind of animation, semi-animation look, hyper saturation in the colors, with a little bit of clip behind, and that's what he does, right? Like, it's simplified backgrounds with cell shaded, animated looking characters, right? So it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not tons of feedback I can give to that. The only thing I would say is, in this particular one, this is a cute little pinup. I like it. I think it works in a lot of ways. Corey just said it's the cyan chicken or whatever, right? Like, something that bothers me a little bit, and it's not a bad thing. One, the clouds have a different rendering than him, and that's a choice, right? The clouds are vector type of clips, right? And he is, he's been done with color holds on his lines. He's got line art plus color holds on it and stuff like that, plus some basic shading going on, right? So there's some separation between him and his environment. Mm-hmm. And I'm cool with that. That's a choice, right? But it also makes me feel like they weren't done together at all. Like, is he flying? Is he powering up? or is he standing? Because right now I'm looking at his feet and they tell me he's standing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is fine because like I'm imagining the artist created this, Alexander created this, and he could grab this flying chicken or this powered up chicken and put him in a battle scene in a garden, in a desert, in a castle or whatever, and it would work really well. The problem is he put him in the sky here. Is it the sky or is it just a generic background, right? If you're going to put him in the sky, he's got to be kind of the feet got to be kind of hanging down as if he's flying, right? A lot of people kind of make that mistake, right? Like they'll have them flat-footed and stuff, but usually as soon as we lift off the ground, our feet will start to just hang a little bit. They don't have to go all the way down or anything, but they'll they won't straight be like they're standing, right? So that would be my critique of this. And this is like, I like Alexander's stuff, but every time I looked at it, because he just asked, he's like, can you look at my stuff? And I'm like, there's not a lot to be said because he does a lot of good things here and stuff like that, you know, like it's slightly stylized and it works for what it is, right? So Alexander, that's my take on it, man, is that
he's on YouTube responding.
Oh, cool.
He did do the background and stuff separate.
Yeah,
and as you said, that's easy to see. It looks like it basically looks like he could. It would have looked the same if it had been a blank background, white blank background, because he's not incorporated with the background, the character.
Absolutely. And Corey said it right. I actually really like how he did his feet and the legs. Like, I think he's got lots of good things going on. When I look at his stuff, I was like, could I tear anything apart? Not really. The only thing I would say is like he really, really, like as I look through all of his pieces, they're really, really highly saturated colors, and they're almost too much for me sometimes, but that's just a stylistic choice. They're consistent in what they are, and I appreciate that, right? So that's cool. Let's see, what else do I got pulled up? There was a couple things. Corey.
Oh God.
I wanted to say that with emphasis because I know he's watching. Corey. Actually, I wanted to talk about this one. I remember this one popped up in the feed, and me and you were both like, whoa, you know that, that's not what I want to do. That looks badass, right? And I was thinking, geez, what can I say about this or do about this and stuff? And I started looking at the panel more. And I got confused. And so I'm going to explain why I'm confused. Listen, he's almost got a lot of similar things. What's his name again?
Sean Hill.
Right. Great artist. And listen, I hesitate to say anything because great artist, great guy. Like every time I've seen his stuff, I'm like, wow, love his stuff. But I am going to give a little bit of feedback here, just peer-to-peer type of thing, right?
He did put it up for critique, so
he put it out there, right? The thing about his stuff is it's so good, like, but where's the emphasis? So, you know, where's our eye drawn to? Well, I've got a lot of black here, black all up in here, darkness. Everybody that's got a beard has got black plus the background stuff and everything, right? And so if I take this out, you'll see what I mean. Like it punches at all of these places and stuff like that, right? But actually what's supposed to be the emphasis is this character.
Yeah.
And especially this character. This dude here.
Oh shit, I didn't even see him.
Is supposed to be the point of emphasis, because I'll show you. I actually thought it was this guy first. I thought this was the dude we're supposed to look at. And then all these angry dudes are coming at him, right? That's what I thought. But no, he is actually this dude here that's choking out and stabbing dude number one.
Yeah.
But we don't ever really focus on dude number one is off to the side of this panel. Dude number one is off the panel at this point, and dude number one is still off the panel. You know, I can only see a hand left of him, right? So the readability, even though this is such amazing art and everything like that, I think he would have to make a choice of how is he going to emphasize not just these two characters, but this dude number one. Because when I was first looking at this, I had no clue who was attacking who. I thought all of these dudes were going after tall bearded dude with the little hat. And then then I thought, oh no, something happened here. They're actually going after somebody else and stuff, right? So something went wrong in this storytelling, even though it's amazing art,
I
that
think
the
I
flow
think
didn't work.
yeah. What confused me the most is the real sudden change of angle, like from the two first ones to the last picture. It's if that had flowed a little bit more, like the two first are side views, and then all of a sudden it's in front of him.
Yeah.
I think if all three of them had been to the side, as an example, it would have been easy. It would have been easier to read, because then we would still understand where the main guy was compared to where he is now, or all panels were equally changing angles, and you, as you do right now, try and keep the lead character focused in the middle.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, what if I did this? That either lead character is focused in the middle, or instead it flows kind of like, here's the wrong panel. Sorry. Here's the emphasis point. Here's the emphasis point. Here's the emphasis point, and it drags us along this way and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just trying to like really what I would do is just darken an inking halo around the character.
I was about to ask if that wouldn't be enough.
But that's a stylistic choice. A lot of people really cringe at haloing and stuff like that. So I'm not telling them to do that. That's the easy fix in my mind. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I would do. But if not, then I would look at the composition. And so I would have had like, obviously this is scratched out. The guys here, then all of a sudden the emphasis on them here, and then the attack where everybody's jumping in on them here and stuff, right? And I think that might have flowed a little bit better, right? Like, but like I said, the artist is amazing. I'm not going to say anything other than that. It's just I lost myself in the flow of the story.
Yeah, it was a bit confusing at that page. I mean, and maybe that's why he put it up there, because he could see something was wrong, but he needed another set of eyes.
Yep, definitely. Let's see. I'm just kind of scrolling. Oh, I wanted to talk about this one a little bit. I can't remember who posted it. She's been posting in the group for a bit, and I like her stuff. I really like her stuff. I like the texturing on the tile or the scales and stuff look really great. The design of both the character, the woman and the dragon look great. I will say this though, is that I'm big on coloring, right? So I'm looking at a light source.
Oh, she's on YouTube right now.
Oh, cool. So the light source presumably is from the front coming in. We could see the light hitting here, hitting the face, right? The light is hitting these general areas, right?
Yeah.
And then, now does it stay consistent in that though? It should be hitting here, should be hitting here. There should be a cast shadow from her back, so maybe the highlight hits here. But then, okay, so if that's true, then does that stay true for the dragon as well? Right? It's relatively consistent on the character, but is that consistent on the dragon? If it's coming from the front, shouldn't there be light along this point, along this rim? This is where it's touching. And then she should be casting some type of shadow on this part of the dragon, right? Because this light is coming from right center or whatever, upper right center maybe. And then, like she should be casting some types of shadows on this dragon. Basically what I'm saying is like, I think she was consistent with the lighting in the character, but she didn't carry that consistency over into the dragon. If that lighting is coming from here, then, the shadows should be all through here, right? The shadows should be on this side and stuff like that, right? Like this.
It seems like she did them individually without taking each other in mind as well,
I
because
thought so, but then
there's a little shadow there.
so
There's no shadow from the dragon either, though.
yeah, like I'd like to see like if she's standing behind this, then there should be some type of
Yeah,
cast shadow on the leg here or something, or on
exactly.
her dress and stuff. So that's it. Like it's I whenever I look at lighting or coloring, I look at lighting. Because coloring, first off, just flats, right? Everybody and their dog can do flats pretty much, right? Like you're just filling in basics, right? But then once you start to address anything beyond flats, you really have to have an understanding of lighting, textures, everything else, right? And that's so the beginning level of coloring is elementary school type of thing. Everybody's coloring in a coloring book and stuff like that. Everybody can do flats, basically, but once you start getting that initial learning curve of flats is so easy, so small, but then everything else is massive, right? You got to study photography. You got to study, everything else when it comes to color theory and stuff, when it comes to coloring and stuff, right? So a lot of people get here and then just kind of delve into something else and say, oh, I can shade. Oh, I can do this. But they're not really getting into it, right? So that's my feedback on her. I think she's a great artist.
Sure.
And Rob says he can't do flats. Yes, I know that about Rob. I've seen your work.
She says, thank you. Honestly, color and lighting I do struggle with. Didn't even consider the shadows of the characters relating to the other. Well, there you go. I mean, it's easy to forget when you're caught in the moment and just want to create.
Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
But you need to keep it in mind. If I may recommend a YouTube page, he's also in our group, Mohammed Akbadi. Is that his name? He's really great with teaching colors and shading.
Now I'm gonna. It's the dude. I'm going to disagree with you when I watch him teaching colors. And the reason why is because, and this is just a personal preference, if I remember who you're talking about, and I've seen him in our group, and like he can color, that's not it. It's about teaching coloring. He doesn't do real time. He speeds through and stuff like that, if my memory is right.
Yeah, that's true.
And you could see like the screen jump, and he's like, and I'm like, what the shit? I know my stuff, and that's hard to follow. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a big fan of that. Like, he sped it up to 20 or something like that, and it's just bounce. And he can color, but it's hard as hell to follow. Is that the same guy?
I think it's the same guy. Yeah, he does some. Yeah. He's not all of his stuff is speed, but yeah, I agree that some of his is too hard to follow.
Maybe it's the ones that I've just looked at or something, and it's just good luck, bad luck of finding them. But the ones that I saw, I was like, this is how can anybody follow what's going on?
Let me just say that follow Marc Brunet. He does a good work in teaching shadow and lighting. Or do you have anything to say against him as well?
No, I don't. I've got a course on our website for how to color comics digitally, and I'm not saying that because I'm saying I'm a better colorist than those guys or anything that. But I go over, how to light things and stuff. She said she's been watching Marc Brunet. Cool. Yeah. I go over like understanding lighting, understanding how different objects and stuff. And so there's a lot of
options. There's a lot of options out there, but of course, go to our website.
Sure.
You also need to find the. We do have our first submission of the Summer Slam sequential done, by the way, if you recall.
We do?
Yeah, Rob.
Oh.
And he wanted. He asked if you could critique that.
Really?
Yeah, Rob's.
Is it in which thread is it in?
The replicator, Rob.
Oh.
No, that took you long enough. He really wants. He's been asking for critiques of that, and I understand it. I mean,
didn't he do like I liked his little Omega pill red thing, right? Like I thought that was
that's the one I'm talking about. He really wants it. He's been asking on YouTube for since we started critiquing that he really needed it.
Unfortunately, Rob, I can't seem to find that right now. So another day. Like legit, I can't find it. And
wait 1 minute and you got it in your DM.
I'm sure he's gonna send it to me right away. He's like, "You're not escaping, Ed." That's funny. Or he'd say that with an Aussie accent or something, I'm sure, right? Yeah. How are we for time? We've been at it for an hour now. Okay, I wanted to go into where's my Harley Quinn that I found?
Corey
I really
says,
just a quick thing on this one. I think there's so
that one.
many really good stuff going on with this. Spidey looks great. The lighting on Spidey looks great. The electricity looks great. The pumpkins, the sun blazing from above, blanking out some of the background, Doc Ock's tentacles, all looks great. But this smoke is kind of, man, like it's just, everything else looks pro to near pro, like print worthy, publishing worthy. And this smoke does not. So I would Rob just sent me the message. And
of course he did. Damn it.
But whoever the artist is, I might take another swipe at the smoke. I just, it seems blobbish instead of smoke, right? So maybe work on the opacity in some areas of it and stuff like that, right? Like I would just move it around a little bit so that it just gives the more feeling of smoke. Okay, so even if you have to, watch Spider-Man Homecoming and see how, like, freeze frame it and then say, okay, well, this is how the smoke look in that. How can I come close to that or something like that? Yeah. Other than that, I think I love this piece. That's why I put it up here, but I wanted to just talk about that.
I also, can we go back for a second?
Oh, no, I just took it off my screen, man. Like, legit just...
Oh, never mind.
What was it that was bugging you?
The only thing that was bugging me, but that's probably personal preference. I think there was too much going on for the eye to like instantly click on and follow on with, because in my view, when you draw comics and covers and such, it should be easy for the eye to follow where to look at it first. And with all that lighting, all those effects, it confused. It's confusing to my eye. Where, I mean, of course, Spider-Man is the first you look at, but then there's the light above, then there's that lightning, and I think he could have removed the lens flare, to be honest, and it would have made it easier for the eye to follow. In my opinion, at least.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much because I think there would have been a title up here. And the emphasis then is on him. It works for me. Like, I get what you're saying. It's very busy, but, you know, I presume he's taking on Doc Ock, Electro,
Green Goblin,
Mysterio, and Green Goblin or something, right? Like,
there's also Venom at his foot, isn't there?
Oh, maybe, and Venom is, good catch, right? So, you know, he's got Spidey versus 5 without showing the 5, right? And so kind of cool that he can achieve that, right? Like, I think it's kind of cool.
I just think the light in the background lens flare takes the focus away from the details that signals who the enemies are without showing them. I think the lens flare takes too much away from that.
People definitely like their lens flares, right? Most definitely. All right, I was gonna jump on Harley Quinn if I could find it.
Let Corey wait a minute more.
Oh, am I? Well, here's the thing. Like, I wanted to look at Corey's, but we've looked at Corey's stuff for the last 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Do you know what I mean? And like,
I know
I'm trying to give as many artists. We get like, what is it? 30 to 50 submissions a week here and stuff. And so I'd like to
have him cook a little longer. He wants it.
Saying, me.
Yep.
Mine. Okay. Anyways, here is Harley Quinn, and I am going to go out on a limb without knowing this artist, and maybe this artist will very much dislike me after this, but this looks like a paint over. Mm-hmm. And for those who don't know what a paint over is, it's when you take a photo, reference that photo, paint over it, and try to achieve a semi-photorealistic version of the original, right? And it's a great way to practice your painting, whether it's traditional, digital, whatever, and stuff like that. Like, trying to replicate something is great. I've done it many times and stuff, right? but sometimes it works better than others and stuff, right? So yeah, this is one of the times where sometimes what you're reading with your, what?
Is it a paint over though? Because that bat really, I think if this was a paint over and that bat was part of the of the picture, that looks really off with the way she's holding it up over her shoulder. I think that's what's making me question whether this is a paint over completely or not. I think I believe, as Corey, right, it might be a photo reference, yeah, but I don't think it's a direct paint over because that bat is way too wrong to be done with a paint over reference.
Well,
sure.
hey, listen, we're getting into a bit of semantics here and stuff like that because a paint over doesn't always mean success. You know what I mean? Like,
oh no.
When you're referencing, when you're referencing a photo, whether you're painting directly over it or whether just looking at it right off to the side, it doesn't mean you're going to achieve any exact replica or whatever, as we both know, right? Like, so yeah, there's some things that are, the bat looks off. Well, let me take a look here. Hold on.
Overall anatomy around the bat and the upper body looks off, really.
There's some things that kind of jumped at me when I was looking at this, right? Okay, so this bat would be going back here, but that's not what's happening on this end of it or anything like that, right? This hand is not matching up with, in fact, there's a big empty blue space there where potentially that bat would be. Maybe it's going back a little bit further this way. I don't know. The way that, we've got to follow the lines, right? So like, there's only so much noodling I can do and wiggling it to try to make it work, right? Yeah. So that's one issue and stuff. The other issue is like, listen, when we start referencing or heavily referencing things and stuff like that, we're only as good as our own limits of our own ability to paint and render and stuff and understand what we're looking at, right? So, if you've got a bat that's pushing into the skin, how does it impact the skin at all? Like, is there a fold in the skin? What's happening here? This finger may have looked like this in the reference, kind of, but as we paint it, it ends up looking really stubby, unnaturally stubby. So something went wrong in that, right? This, at first glance, because it's done so dark, could look like it's the ab, but it's not. It's the obliques that are really crazy high for some strange reason. Like, her obliques are way up here and stuff, and then the abs come up. So I guess the reason I pulled this up is I think whether it's a paint over or whether it's a heavily referenced thing or whatever it is, I would still really look at breaking it down to the fundamentals, saying here's a shoulder, here's the rib cage and stuff, here's my center line, and start breaking it down and saying, okay, here's where all the pieces would be. Does this render out the way that my under structure still is? Because whether you're looking at a picture of Harley Quinn or an elephant or anything like that, or especially if it's a painting or something, right? You want to be able to understand the structure that's underneath it so that you can understand when something like this finger is reading wrong. You can say, hold on. I know that finger should be longer. So why is it reading wrong? And then how can I address it? Maybe I need to make it, because that finger might be coming closer to the viewer or something like that. I need to show some foreshortening or something like that, like show some emphasis to it, put a better lighting rim around it, because I know the finger is the length it's supposed to be, because it's a photo. Somebody took a photo and that she doesn't have an amputated finger, right? So the finger's where it should be, but it's not reading right on the screen. So do the structure, even if you're going to do paint over / heavy reference, whatever it is, and then understand that it might be, if it's looking off, address it.
I completely agree. I mean, I'm sure you've done paint overs as well as practice, and that's exactly what it is. It's practice to learn to understand what goes on inside it, inside the picture as well when you paint it over. That's
I do it
basically
actually for skin tones. I
yeah.
practice with skin tones a lot.
But my point is that even though you're painting over a photo, you still need to learn, understand basic proportions, the basic constructions. You still need to have some sort of skill and experience with building up the body yourself, or else you can't understand what's going on in the picture you're painting over, and you're just going to end up with this, because you can't, even though it's a direct paint over, you'll never be able to 100% completely paint it over so it looks exactly the same, because you're still going to use colors and lines that's not in the picture to begin with. So you're changing already there, and with that you need to understand what's going on in the picture you're working on.
So we talk about understanding proportions, understanding the structure. And then, as a colorist, I look at this and where's the lighting? Is this person addressing the lighting issues and stuff I get? Like, I don't know. And then, the reason I said it was a paint over, because they obviously paid so much attention to trying to get certain details right. And there's certain weird things that are flubbing on it. And then I look at the background and think nothing was done. No effort was put into that background or anything.
Corey just said the same. If they're that good at drawing characters, why is the background almost cartoon clouds?
Exactly. There's smudges in the back, and it's not even an artistic smudge necessarily. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like this whatever type of thing. And you know what? This artist could come on and say, listen, I've got an explanation for all of it. And maybe they do. And that's cool. But there's an old saying is, let the art speak for itself, right? And right now, this art is saying to me, paint over. Artist is not seeing some of the issues, and just let the background slide, right? So
I was about to be real, almost quote unquote really mean and say lazy as well, because it kind of is.
No, I disagree. Like, because I think they did a great, like, they tried. How many hours did this person put into this, right? That's not lazy to me.
No, but with the background and overall, I mean, they got the foreground as good as they did. I mean, they could have please drawn a wall behind it with some graffiti. That would have been more Harley Quinn.
I would have just said a blue background. Do you know what I mean? Like a plain background. Like, yeah. I don't know. This.
I think we are going
again
into
as a study, and even as a study, look at the structure behind it and try to figure some things, right? Let's see. I'm kind of scrolling through some of this. This guy, I think there's a lot of cool things here. I like his panel. This comes in an explosion, more explosion. I don't know. I think maybe there's a little bit of redundancy between these two panels. Oh, I see. This one's a meteor coming to Earth, and this is it hitting Earth. And the meteor is this dude. Okay, now I kind of read it a little bit better. So thing is crashing into a planet. Thing crashes into a planet. There's some type of explosion with people around it, which is interesting, because here I see no hint of civilization. Then here I see a bunch of civilization, cars, people, all this kind of stuff, right? So I'm not sure exactly, like, I kind of wish that there was a little hint of some of that stuff in this panel, right? If it's the same, so here I'm looking at Earth, I'm presuming a planet or whatever, right? And then I'm looking at a whole bunch of things being broken up, and it looks like just a deserted area that is happening. Then all of a sudden I'm in a different setting with another explosion. Doesn't make sense. It's the same place, but it's got a lot of civilization to it. And then dude starts climbing out of the crater or whatever and stuff, right? So
I agree completely. I mean, the first panel, I would have made the planet more obvious as well.
Yeah. I didn't even catch the planet in that first panel until I got confused and looked back at it, right?
And two panels with the same explosion it just seems wrong. I would have maybe the second panel drawn some city skylights, like in silhouette, where the comet, whatever it is, meteor comes closer.
Like, it could have been like a city, whatever, like skyline. blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden, boom, a nice lighting thing, and then the rim lighting of the explosion and stuff like that, or whatever and stuff, right? And then that ties into, have this planet a little bit bigger, have the meteor heading towards it here, right? That type of thing, right? And then boom, city, people flying, he comes crawling out, right? I think that makes a little bit more sense to me. And it's not even a huge change. It's just like a little bit backed out of the camera, a little bit different emphasis, right? The other thing that bugs me is this guy here. If I look at this guy's chest, it's looking somewhere along these lines, right? So his shoulder is a little high here. His chest is coming here. I'm presuming it's kind of coming back here. But then this shoulder would be way back here. I don't know. I'm kind of guessing because there's a lot of things covered here. Hold on. Now this is getting even weirder. So I'm going to zoom in.
Yeah. I thought as well. What is
okay,
that?
So here's the wrist, hand. Here's an elbow. Here's the upper arm. So this is a bicep. Here's the tricep. So that means his shoulder's here. Okay, that's fine. If his shoulder's there, then, these shoulders have got to connect in that way, right? So what should happen is, it's got to flow this way. His chest can come down or whatever and flow along this way. His traps, would flow in here. His back, can come out and kind of flow that way. And then, the head can be center, something like that, right? So I think, he's kind of missing a little bit of this.
I also think the cape is confusing a lot on the arm there.
A little bit. There's a few things that are confusing it. Like there should have been a bit more bulk to this. But I don't know if this cape is cutting in, if this bicep's supposed to be a little bit more like that. Could be the cape totally messing with my flow here and stuff. But even still, like I would still say there's got to be the deltoid head coming in here that's not showing at all. Because if the bicep is here, the deltoid inserts midline here into the bicep, the brachialis and stuff, right? So, he does it reasonably. There's still some funny things going on here, but he does it reasonably here. He just didn't do it up top there. So I would have changed that a little bit. And even, you can have the chest coming down a little bit more, have it hulking, and then, what's going on with the legs here?
I was about to say, where's his
this
legs?
Okay, so here his hips would be back here. I get it, right? They're kind of set behind. This leg I kind of get, right? Like something like those, whatever, right? Like I'm not sure what's happening here. This is the knee.
Does he have like that's
maybe this is what he's because of the rendering, it's hard to see what's all happening. Is this
kind
a boot?
Kind of like Spawn, maybe?
Maybe this could be his boots, but that looks really weird because this is so far forward. Like originally I thought his body was, pushed back, and then like this part was way going back, and then this part was the one coming forward, right? I thought the upper body was lunging forward. That's how it read to me, was this stuff was coming forward, but now maybe this leg is. But then what's happening? Is this a crotch in here? Basically what I'm saying is like there's a lot of confusion going on with the anatomy here, and I'm not sure why it needs to be. Like I think like I've never seen a crotch look like this. It's indented and stuff, right? So, and then even like the more I delve into here, I'm looking at things like folds and stuff that are really confusing me here, right? So that's actually why I pulled this, was not the first panels. Once I started reading it, I was kind of confused. I was like, what's going on in these first panels, right? But anatomy and pose.
Compared to the Wolverine one, and as Corey also stated, this is a great action page with the compared to the Wolverine one. With the, if we go back to your music thing, it kind of has that beat that fits
Yeah.
the tone.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I like the flow of it. It's like boom, boom, huh, you know, like that's how I would envision this kind of thing, right? Is like, you know, there's just that these hits, it's coming, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, huh, and he's at, you know, like I think it's cool looking, right? Like I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on in here. Just a little bit of clarification on the first two panels, and then some more clarification in his anatomy, I think would have helped this piece, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. We're kind of running not out of time, but like I'm just kind of bouncing around. I like this page. I
really looked at this and said, what can be said about this?
Yeah, you know what? I pulled it in here just to take another look at it. And maybe I might say this looks a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
but I'm kind of nitpicking here. Like there's a lot. I love how she looks up here, you know, this fist, you know, fist slam type of thing. She's really got a whole lot of wrinkles going on, but you know, it's a stylistic choice. But yeah, the only thing I would think I would really kind of question. Oh, there's two things. One is this, and now that I'm looking at it, I do not like this or this. This is fine, the spacing here and this lettering, and this is fine because of the emphasis, right? Yeah. This is not. I would have tightened this lettering up. So instead it would have been aren't you, and then I would have had this a little bit tighter on there. Like it should have been you're just the baddest little girl, aren't you? And you could tighten this whole thing up or reshape the balloon or something, right? Like the lettering. I think I posted just the other day about some lettering mistakes and stuff like that, right? So that's this little shin thing she's got going on, and the choice in how the too much gap in the top and the bottom of that word bubble, I think are the lettering mistakes here.
Yeah, it's really overall good, but you're right. Cool. I think it's the balloons that's.
Yeah, I don't know what program he was using. I think this is Lamont, if I remember the artist. I've seen his stuff before. I like it.
Yeah. And the shin and the foot don't make any sense either. Like.
Yeah, it didn't need that extra little shin bump. I'm kind of confused by that and stuff, right? All right, let's see. How are we doing for time? We're hour and a half in, right?
Yep.
So we're getting pretty long here. I'm trying to think. I might have to do Rob's. Well, I could look at Corey's here for a second. You know what? Corey's getting so good that there's not much to say.
I think we should end at Rob's because it's super brilliant. We should end with a brilliant one. So let's end with Rob's.
Okay. We can end with
Lamont just popped up.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's using Manga Studio?
Yeah, old Manga Studio 4. Is that what you're using, Lamont?
Cool.
I'm sorry if you just missed it, but we have just been through yours. So when this goes on
he was probably listening.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
don't spoil it.
Oh, hold on, I'll bounce out of it right there we go. Okay, whatever. Good enough. And let's see, somebody else was sending me a message. I just want to. Oh, okay. Well, here somebody helped us out with this. Look familiar?
Oh, yes, it does indeed.
Yep. And we can see now. Let's see. Where was that? Where was?
Yeah. Now that we have it, let's take it up for comparison. Oh. Again, not to out the character, because as we said, it's paint overs is fine and dandy for practice and all that. So it's not. It's just to try and help understand it better.
Yeah.
I'm happy you saw it, Lamont.
Oh, it wasn't Lamont. Oh, his original stuff, the comments that we were doing, you mean?
Yeah, he saw it.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to kind of this in here.
Rob is a pro artist, so he'll probably take a lot for commission Johnny Cage.
Okay, so what do we think?
Here's the question: did the artist finish the elbow themselves, or
was it a different crop on a different photo?
Yeah,
right? Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm going to take my red away from this.
a 3K, Rob. That's a steal, man. Go for it, Johnny. You should really commission.
So I think when we're looking at this kind of stuff, right? Here we see in the actual photo tons of nice fabric lines coming off of the shirt, tons of pinches and pulls and stuff like that, and most of that disappears in here. We could see how muddy it gets and everything, right? We can see lots of shadow in the hair, lots of shadow on the face. The big, deep shadows that are caused by this bat. And they've softened it up so much that it takes away from that emphasis there, right?
Oh, yeah. And I
mean,
here's
the end of the bat.
Now that I see it, the chest really annoys me.
Her chest?
Yeah.
Why?
Some
people have said it, and it's not bugging me as much as other stuff.
Well, maybe I'm just used to looking at chests.
Yeah, I think I need more practice, possibly.
Yeah,
I'll be down.
I can send you I can send you some pictures if you want.
I don't want pics of your chest. The other thing, we've got the end of the bat here, right? Or I believe.
Yeah.
This is the end of the bat, right? But it's not visible in this painting.
And look at where the bat is moved down compared to the picture.
Yeah, this bat is bending down. It wasn't really carried over into his hand. And that's, that was part of my draw over originally, right? So, yeah. Oh, and the one thing, the pinky. Yeah, this pinky, I think, look at how nubby, like this. Okay, so if you look in the original reference here, this pinky overlaps with the other fingers, right?
Yeah.
This one does not. It just kind of hangs.
Yeah.
So there's part of the issue, right? So anyways, that's what happens if you're trying to study from an actual picture. Yeah.
The more I look at it, I don't think it's a directly paint over. I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
I would have believed then the hand would have been done better, and if it had been a direct paint over, at least.
You know what? I'm not even gonna bother to try to break it down if it is or isn't, because I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to.
The point find remains, out. The points remains the same.
Yeah.
Know the structure of what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, Corey stuff, and then Rob's. With Corey stuff, it's funny because we were talking before about having the character center mass, right? Like the emphasis on the character here and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it works in how these panels are laid out. It feels like this character is up on a ridge, and there's another character up on a ridge, and they're viewing something down. Okay, everybody's kind of looking down, right? Like I'm trying to figure out the story here and stuff, right? There's something behind here, like a wagon being pulled or something like that, but I'm not sure why that's like. Does this wagon lead down the hill somewhere? Maybe. Hard to say. She's looking over. It's either a valley with a river or a road down there, right? This looks like a road.
It's a bit confusing, the three panels there, and I think it's the guy in the middle that breaks all the panels up that makes it confusing.
Yeah, like I would have grabbed him and brought him something like this or whatever and stuff, right? And then, yeah. I would have brought him off to the side. Maybe brought my little wagon down here with the buggy leading down into the valley, here's a cliff or something like that, and then I don't know the script, right? So this is kind of hard, but like just him standing there right in the middle, how it originally looked. Am I supposed to be focused on this and then him or not? Or like, I don't know. It gets, the readability gets a little weird for me. And then this also frees up this panel. Maybe it could have bumped in a little bit more or had a bit of an angle to it, right?
Yeah.
And then she's looking down at the valley here, right? I presume it seems like everybody's up on a cliff in this story. For some reason, everybody's on a cliff and they're all looking down towards something. Oh, she's kind of looking off this way. Right.
I think you just lagged there for a second. Maybe it was just me. Anyways, you're back.
Anyways, I'm trying to figure out the storytelling behind it. I'm not going to look at the anatomy. I actually think this anatomy looks really good. Some of the best stuff I've seen from Corey.
I was about to say.
Yeah, no, I'm liking everything I'm looking at here. It holds within his style. It just, we've been looking at a lot of panels today. So, hold on. It's like they're journeying along a cliffside and they stop to look over the valley. I get that. So what I might have done then was like have him and her, if they're together, I don't know, have the chick, here's the chick, and they're both looking down at the valley, and then have I don't like having the establishing shot second, because I just don't like the order. But like this could have been the valley shot, like the wagon up on the hill and them standing there looking down at it and stuff, right? The emphasis on this figure and then this figure is just so confusing for me and stuff. I don't really understand why we've got two panels here. Why isn't she standing beside him? Are they in the same general area or not? There's a lot of confusion with the storytelling, and that's.
And maybe we get that. Maybe it's easier if we knew the page beforehand.
Maybe. I don't know.
The page should also speak for itself.
Yeah, so I'm just not a big fan of this section. I would have reordered it somehow, whereas in like it could have been two of them standing on a cliff while the wagon's trucking down and they're looking down at this valley or something. It could have been a big, wider establishing shot. Just him standing in the middle here just is throwing me. And then her in another panel standing off to the side here. And I actually like the panel she's in here.
Oh, yeah.
If I was to have him and her looking down at the view that way, totally makes sense. This could have been the establishing panel and then have him and her, the wagon slightly behind them or whatever, something like that. Yeah, that would have been my preferences. Like how he laid out this panel up here, I would have put that as my number one.
He was supposed to be the guy was supposed to be in the foreground of the second panel. Corey just right. And the second panel is the panel with the woman, I assume.
Maybe not.
Maybe the second
panel. Be 1, 2, 3. There's another panel here, right? So. Yeah. Either way, there's some storytelling readability issues in here. If us as general comic book fans are having some troubles understanding the flow of this, then just think about it, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously we're all saying like the artwork is great, the rendering is great.
It's easy. It's easy to forget sometimes that you're not drawing for yourself to understand it. You're drawing it for other people to understand what they're seeing. And when you're in the flow, as we spoke of earlier as well, you tend to forget these sort of things that the comic you're making. Yeah, sure, it's for you, but it's more importantly for the reader that's gonna buy it. And
so that's why I think the thumbnails in the storyboarding to start with, doing out some really, some thumbs that are strong composition, strong flow, strong beats. Get all that first before you start laying stuff down, right? Because once he's at this stage, it's hella hard to change anything, right? Yeah, and what are they looking at? I'm going to guess it's on the next page. There was a question saying, what are they looking at there, right? It's something in the valley. And I'm presuming then that they're like, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters plus a little lizard guy or something like that. Maybe are they all riding together? Are they all in the same caravan type of thing? Are they different? Again, this gets a little confusing, right? So I would have, if it was me, establishing shot with the characters on the ridge, riding in this caravan, zoom in on whoever I want to emphasize and roll the story from there. So
yeah.
Okay, maybe last one?
Yeah, I think you went through them all now, didn't you?
Here we've got Rob's. Now, Rob is an amazingly published artist. His accolades can be said for ages and ages. But
we don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that, right?
No.
And I barely have time to, unfortunately, look at this great masterpiece.
I don't know where to start, man. It's just baffling.
Well, let's see. Can people name them? Who are we looking at here? This is part of the sequential challenge with the X-Men. So just so you guys know, we are looking at X-Men. Maybe not how you have seen them before, but they are X-Men. Don't doubt that. So who are we looking at? Do we have any comments? Let's see if some of the comments start popping up.
I mean, I didn't know that Pope Man was an X-Men.
He is. He's actually from the future.
Oh, well, Pope Man.
Something like that.
I thought that was a Dark Horse comic, the Pope or something like that.
Oh, isn't there one? Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I remember seeing one. Okay, come on, guys. I'm waiting for the names. I'm waiting to see who pops up first for some of these.
Exactly, Corey. I mean, I don't know where to start with the intensity of this action scene.
Is it an action scene or is it a pinup? We've got one guy. Oh, he's doing a little Hulk pose. The Pope dude kind of thing. He looks happy. He's just kind of chilling. I don't know. Okay, we got Cyclops. Cyclops is one. Wild Card Productions.
Storm.
Hold on. Stop. Who said Storm? I didn't see Storm. Oh, Jerry said it. Right. Yeah. Okay, so we've got Storm.
Lamont Robinson says on Facebook says Bishop.
Oh, Lamont got Bishop.
Oh, so it wasn't Battle Pope.
It's Bishop.
Yeah.
No, it's not Colossus. Who's the last one on the ground, guys? Come on. And Rob, you can't chime in on this.
Oh, there we go. Terry Away said the last one.
What is it? I didn't see it pop up in the comments yet.
Nightcrawler.
That's right. Nightcrawler. And there are your X-Men. I feel like I should have the 80s theme music or something rolling, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
It's running in my head just watching this. It's so epic. It just has that really right. It's truly a magnificent.
My kid has been watching that. I got her on it, watching the 90s series, and then like I walk in the living room and she's just chilling, watching it herself and stuff. It's awesome.
Oh,
like,
nice.
I haven't even got into that season yet or anything. Like she's just blasting through it, so it's awesome. The Battle Pope. Yep. Oh, Battle. I think that's
the name.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Battle Pope. That's cool. Oh, and just for anybody who wants this particular art piece without the remarks or anything on it, Rob says the auction is starting at about 3,000. Now that's Australian dollars. So in real world currency, about $1.
Yeah. About a koala.
Or just a couple koalas.
About a koala.
Yep. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Listen, all of this can be found on our YouTube channel, in our Facebook group, on our website, and it's all How to Draw Comics, right? So you can, wherever you're comfortable, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, or you cringe at social media and stuff and you just want to go direct to the site, go to howtodrawcomics.net and you can come hang out with us. You can see all the tutorials, critiques, drawovers, courses, tons of stuff on the site. So, Ric, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a long time, brother.
It's been a long time, and I enjoyed it really much. Even though it's 4 o'clock here almost, I enjoyed it a lot.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah, for Ric, it's 4 a.m. For me, it's like almost 7 p.m., so I'm all good. Okay, guys, that's it for the live. I hope it was cool for you all. And listen, we appreciate all the comments.
Wait.
Like, this is awesome.
One last thing, as Rob just said, come back tomorrow. We got they got a really special show tomorrow with Rob Willis.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to that personally, and I think there's a lot of wisdom to be had.
Yeah, we've had a lot of creators coming on, a lot of artists and stuff like that. So this Monday thing is more of our, like, I gotta think of a better theme. Draw over Mondays, manic Mondays. I don't know. We'll come up with something.
I can start acting more manic if you want.
Maybe. Maybe people will start arguing with me over the critiques I give and stuff like that, and get a little brutal. Madness Monday. Yeah. Okay, draw over Madness Monday. Come back and join us.
Macho Monday. When it's the two of us. Really? It's Macho Monday.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for everything. Peace out.